Now you're being infinite. You can't do anything about that. You've got no choice on that. You are infinite right now. And when I look at you, I always see that infinity. And you're always saying to me, I, the infinite being, am extremely limited. And I say, no, look. And you say, yes, but I, the infinite being, have this problem. This goes on and on and on. Because you don't take one moment out to see this infinite being that you are. And yet some of you do. And you feel so high and so good when you see it. But then you fall right back into the tendency, the habit. Another word for tendency is habit. You fall right into the habit of saying, no, I'm subject to this excrement-producing, beautiful mechanism that throws garbage out of every single pore of it, and through other extremities, phlegm, feces, urine, and there's nothing more disgusting to us than the insides of a human being, and we're glorifying this piece of crap. Someday you're going to see that the least of you is this piece of junk. But you could see it right now if you would just look at what you are. And at that moment, disidentify with the body. Or see that the body is just a creation of your mind. And that's where the body lies, in your mind. Get behind your mind and you'll see your infinity. But you're so plagued with these tendencies. It's almost like you're trying to look at the air from the bottom of the ocean. You got that whole ocean between you of tendencies. However, anytime you choose, you can drop the whole thing. But most of you just don't believe you can. Believing that you cannot makes it cannot. You gotta let go, I can't. Because if you think you can't, you're making it that way. Now, because this is coming out at this high level of dropping tendencies, there's a power behind this course, which is the power of the high beings who want you to do just this. And you'll feel it if you just open yourself to it. Get with this course. Do the things that Bridie's putting out for you to do each lesson. And all the masters are behind it. Because it's being put out at a masterly level. Instead of getting into these groups, which are primarily sex things, counter groups, Esalen, all these things, they're primarily sex, which keeps your body bound. You're getting a course that is in a direction that the masters would give it to you at, and therefore they're supporting you. You don't have to believe me. Check it out. Let the power come through on this course and you'll see yourself moving freer and freer in very big, giant steps. I think Neelan can back me up on this. I guess I'm not telling any secrets, and Kathy wouldn't mind. She made tremendous strides in the course. Tremendous. Strides that take the average person in this world millions of years to do. She did in that course. And every one of the girls gained tremendously from it. But I do believe Kathy took more than anyone else. Took more, that's all. Open yourself to it. The masters are there. The power's there. Go with it. Friday's going to tell you to, you do it yourself thing. See, no one can free you but you. No one has bound you up so tightly but you yourself. So you're the only one who can do it. Friday will tell you, you must do it. So if you get with it, you got the possibility of going free right on this course that Friday's going to give you. And if you don't go free, you got the map, the formula, the way to go free, so that when you're finished with it, you continue right on until you are free. I'm supporting this course with all the power that I have. And while I was doing that, I saw that I was not alone. I saw the masters right behind me, pushing me. Until the time I said, Isaac, I want to heard it, don't you people feel the power in this room? I had to say it, because if I didn't talk about it, I would have lost consciousness. It was so powerful, the power coming through from them. I spoke about it only to keep me here. And I believe every one of them, I don't remember, did they all say they felt it? I know some of them mentioned it. Now that power is there for you fellows. That's the power from the masters. Making a big push to free you, because you're taking it at a level that they would give it at a level in which you can go free shortly, very quickly. Time when you're not feeling, except when you're free. When you're completely free, then you're not feeling. But the person who thinks he or she is not in a feeling is very much in feelings. And the skill of the counselor is to get them to get a handle on one feeling and take that one feeling up. And when they say, I don't feel anything, to get the person to see that they are feeling something. This is the skill of the counselor.
So one of the important points, I think, which came out of this little thing we've been talking about there, was this: a great deal of my intensity and anxiety stemming from the fact was coming out of worry, and anxiety was causing all this myriad of clever, detailed problems that no one, including me, would ever be able to fathom because of their intricacy and complexity. What Frances did was quite simply this, what I never thought I would be able to get out of. Instead of being into all of that, she said, what happens when you worry? My feeling was, I'm so worried. Now, if I'd gone on, it would have been about this and about that, and up and down. What happens when you're worried? So from then on, for the next few days, I was able to stop myself from going into severe, intense anxiety in my mind by just simply saying, I'm so worried. Well, what happens when I worry? Someone comes and helps me. And what happens when someone comes and helps me? I'm safe. And it just cut out that whole vast chunk of my mind, to which I would never find any answer anyway. There was no answer in there. It was being prompted by the worry, by the anxiety.
This is what I mean by, if you hit a lull, take that feeling up. See, that was
an example of when you're in a lull, take that feeling up. Or he was stopped by anxiety, worry. And she took that feeling up.
Instead of saying, what is it I'm worried about? You know, and why is it I'm...
Yeah.
You know?
But see that, you see how heavy a lull that is? Anxiety, worry is a big, heavy blocking feeling.
Because once you've dropped that...
But she took it up.
Here's another thing I discovered later on. After been doing that for a few days, I said to Francis, now this is great, this is fine. But there's something else under here, because I'm managing to take the top slice of it off, as it were. What does worry mean? Attention, security, boom, boom, we're fine. But there is something down there that is actually prompting the anxiety. In other words, for a few days I was simply saying, the reason I worry is to get attention. It satisfied me for a period of time, and then I saw that there was, there must be some reality, actually. But what I discovered, what I'm saying, is by taking my feelings up, that which was the cause of the anxiety presented itself quite clearly, without the thinking process of probing for it.
And what was that?
Wanting approval. Basically. Going into myriads of other things. I can see that quite easily now, and yet it took me a long time to see that it was that. I wouldn't accept that that's what it was. It had to be all these other... Because this happened to me when I was young, and then that happened, and...
See, that's the habit of all the therapies. They get you in a...
Simple, that's...
Yeah, all it is.
That someone said it's simple. And it's easy. The simpler a thing is, the more correct it is.
Well, now I see for myself what is meant by the fact that all fear is based in the fear of dying. I understand it now for myself, that the root of all anxiety is, you've got to, you've got to come in because it's the only way I'll manage to stay here.
Fear is a horrible thing, and everyone has it so strongly. If that can be dropped, wow.
Well, it does, I think, anyway, that it's never even entered my head now since I've been using it, because your own beingness is so unquestionable that I haven't even intellectualized, well, what would happen if my body dropped away or something like that. Because you're
not thinking you're that body.
You're not even... I'm beginning to see now what it's all about, that it's about not feeling. I'm beginning to really see it.
What it's all about is not feeling.
And it's a terrific point about taking your good feelings up as well, because I used to get so intense sometimes with what I would call joy or happiness. Maybe it would be with my music or going to Mass. So I was doing Mass, I would get so, it was just, I had to suppress it. And I would become very unhappy afterwards and would wonder what was wrong, because I just wouldn't know what to do with it, I'd get so happy. Now I see that even my happiness is a terrific wanting, approval, and you can stay even all the time. It's like you stay even all the time, which is just, I think I just imagined that it's supposed to be, and it's so nothing.
Yeah, that's a good way. It is a nothing. It's a no thing, really. It's just being. I wish you people would take over the teachings and spread them to those who want to be spread over.
How can you do it?
You gotta go free first. If you're not free, you'll get clobbered. You really have to be free, otherwise you cannot go on teaching, you'll collapse.
It's so obvious now, more and more to me. This is another thing, and Francis mentioned it to me at one point. That'll be good, Simon. There's a built-in something else comes, I think, and it's compassion. It's a word I never would even have thought of using before. But you see how much we are all desperate for love. And I think it's the counselling, you mentioned counselling that's bringing this out specifically now, because now I see in my mind all these people all over the world going for help. And you know what it is they really want? A love, approval. That's all anybody wants. And weeks and months and years go by of going into their problems and telling you this and that happened and that, and all you're saying all the time really is, please listen to me.
Listen to me.
Please listen to me.
Even when you go to a medical doctor, doctors know this, all doctors, the majority of those sick people are not sick. They just want attention.
Why do you make yourself sick?
To get attention.
Please, I'm sick. You have to help me. No. God, get in Mummy's bed quick. Books, sweets. Unbelievable. Did you ever get in your Mummy's bed? Mummy's bed. Oh.
Tummy ache in the
We used to knock on the floor. Didn't tell you it was tolerated. I get sick. Ah! Lemonade! No! Oh, great. That's why being sick was so great.
Going to the toilet is used by kids a lot to get attention.
And hunger. Being hungry.
Or falling down and hurting themselves.
I suppose the point is, like, no matter how often you tell somebody that, if the button's pressed, you know what I mean, you're looking for love, nothing's going to stop you. You're looking for it. You're tripping over it all over the place and you can't see that it's there until there's something about this method that makes you very secure.
You're dropping your false securities. That's what makes you secure. Your false securities.
And so you feel yourself and then you know you are secure. You always were secure. That's the biggest thing for me, and it gives terrific security.
The absolute security is yourself.
Okay, and you're saying you're dropping your false securities, right?
Right.
Remember the last time?
What is it?
Your securities that you received?
Oh, I even saw that my desperation was a security to me. A terrific desperateness which was underneath everything I've ever done in my life, a feeling of strong desperation. It's one of the biggest things that has helped me in art of the days. I saw it was my security. I believed that my desperation was going to get me what I wanted, and that's why I couldn't give it up.
That's why we have desperados. You know what a desperado is?
Bandit. People
Yeah, he gets his security by taking it with the gun. I wasn't making fun of you.
No, even if you were, it wouldn't bother me. I was just thinking, in fact, though, that, you see it another way. If I'm desperate, somebody has to come and help me, sooner or later. It's just like the extreme of it. But there is a security built into it. Eventually, you see that you don't really need anybody.
When you get the security, you don't need anybody, even your own. Taking a feeling up is tracing a feeling to a more basic feeling until you get the source feeling of wanting to control or wanting approval. But every one of you have done it. You know what it is. What is there to talk about? How to do it?
Well, not everybody knew in the beginning.
Oh, well, in the beginning you have to be helped a bit. That's where I think counseling will be doing just that, like you did with Bernie. You get them into the feeling, they can't see, you keep juggling until they see the feeling, then trace it back up to the source of approval or control.
But see, you didn't tell me what to do. What I'm saying now is, what do you tell people to do? I did that because it worked on me. You've never said...
Francis, you've been getting it from me for 10 years, this thing.
Not how to trace the feeling back.
Oh, I've been using this ever since I know you.
Well, okay, then that's what I was using. But
I was
wondering
always
what
trying
you
to
said.
get you into the basic thing that you want approval. Let's use love with you. Or control. I've always tried to get people into basic tendencies.
Right.
Been going on for years and years and years.
But if you talk to someone who doesn't have this background, what do you say to them about taking the feeling out? You don't give them a series of questions to ask to trace it back?
So how do I do it?
I don't know.
You've had it for 10 years or more.
Oh, no, I'm talking about with someone now. If you talk to someone who's...
Do you get them to see that more basically, that feeling is something else? And if it doesn't hit approval, get them to see that more basically it's something else until they see it in the basic approval or control.
Okay.
You get them first to get a handle on their feeling, get to see their feeling, get to know that feeling. That's the first thing you do. After you're there, you get them into the feeling, then you try to get them to trace that feeling back and back until it's reached wanting approval or wanting to control. I think when the counselors are ready to go, I'll probably spend time with them. I've always had this.
It never happened to me.
Well, nobody's counseling except Kathy right now. I mean, out there. And when people get in the world, it's a different story counseling in the world than it is in here, you know. You'll meet far more of a challenge out there.